In today's Leeds news, Ramazani in line to start. Under-21 called up by Farke. Under-21's National League Cup Group Draw. Kick-off time moved. And Greenwood praised, but more work to do. Morning folks, Jay here on Friday morning the 20th of September with your Leeds United news. Hope you're having a good week so far, heading into the weekend. What on paper should be a decent weekend for Leeds. On paper, at least. Daniel Farke has been talking an awful lot yesterday. There's some bits and pieces come out today. And some of the Leeds loanees have been commented on this week as well. We'll cover all of that as we get through the news as well. You can check out yesterday evening's podcast. Myself and Ben Locke talking about the Farke week, I suppose. The week that was Daniel Farke, and a very good press conference from the manager yesterday to ease and calm everybody just a little bit down again. We'll crack on and get into this. We'll start off with the Ramazani news, and as we head into the weekend's clash against Cardiff City, an away game for Leeds United, and what should be on paper 3 points for Leeds United, with Cardiff City sitting rock bottom of the table, and right now their manager Bullet looking like he is under severe pressure to keep his job. During Daniel Farke's press conference though, Farke did say that there were a few issues this week in terms of players training, possible little niggles that have been picked up, but gave the local media a full rundown on his concerns going into the weekend. According to Farke, Manor Solomon is the biggest risk heading into the weekend after he had some back trouble this week, but Farke hasn't ruled him out of the game completely. But what this does do is potentially leave the door open for a debut of Largi Ramazani. It is possible that Solomon will recover. Farke did say that he expects the players to be okay for the weekend, and he could very easily name an unchanged side come tomorrow afternoon. But should Solomon not make it, Ramazani has had 2 full weeks to work with the Leeds United manager to get himself up to speed on everything he needs to know to fit seamlessly into Daniel Farke's system. If he was to come into the team, it would likely facilitate a move back to Willie Gnonto's preferred side of the left hand side of the park for him, and Largi Ramazani slipping in nicely on the right hand side and giving Leeds a nice bit of balance in there as well. Brendan Aronson obviously in that 10 position, but as I said, it should be pointed out that he was pictured during the week in training. Also some issues around Junior Firpo, potential MCL issue for him, which could see Isaac Schmidt come in for his debut, although it appears Leeds see Sam Byram as the left back replacement and Schmidt as the right back replacement, but there's question marks there. And Joe Rothwell rolled his ankle this week, but they all appeared in the training video this week, so they should be all okay and ready to go. The other interesting situation is around Ao Tanaka. Will he play in the game? Will Leeds looking for more attacking options? Farke pretty much has said the midfield pairing of Gruev and Nampadu should stay the same. He's looking for balance in his team, and having both of those players in there facilitate both fullbacks being able to attack for him, but they've got to make sure they cover the gaps as well. That's the only thing they'll get caught, like they got caught against Burnley again. We move on to the under-21 news, and a young player who was caught the eye last season has been called up to the Leeds United first team by Daniel Farke, and in this week's training video he was notable by the big head of hair that he has on him in the background. Leeds United under-18 centre-back Ruben Lopata-White was pictured in with the squad this week, and LUFC Youth have confirmed on X.com that the player was training with Leeds United's first team this week. He was misidentified by one of the outlets, but we've managed to have a good look at it, and it is Ruben Lopata-White. He's in the background of most of the stuff, but he is there. He had a fantastic season last year for the under-18s, has done very well for the under-21s, taking the step up this year, and did impress during the under-18s campaign. He was handed a full professional contract this year as well, and Leeds clearly see him as a player that can make an impact in the future, and Daniel Farke rewarding the player early by bringing him up to the first team to be involved with training this week. Whether that means that Lopata-White will appear on the bench or not remains to be seen, but if there's an issue around Max Vober's return, not getting ready in time, and Joe Rodon's hip issue, then maybe Ruben Lopata-White could pick up a position on the bench this week. If he doesn't, no big deal. He's a young player with a huge amount of potential, and we keep an eye on him over the course of this year. Sticking with the under-21s, and they've had a draw for a new competition, the National League Cup competition, which has been newly created this season, and Leeds United under-21s have just found out who they will be in the group stages with this season. Leeds have been drawn against Middlesbrough, Newcastle United, Sunderland, Boston United, Gateshead, Halifax Town and Tamworth in this, as I say, brand new competition this season. We'll keep an eye on it as we do with the under-21 results, and we'll watch them over the course of this season. Moving into some bad news, and just when we thought Sky's new approach of moving kickoffs earlier had been done and dusted and eased some of the travel issues people have, local police have now decided that they would like to have a crack at this themselves. Leeds' trip to Blackburn has been brought forward by 90 minutes to a 11:30 kickoff on November 30th due to advice from the Lancashire Police. In a statement on LeedsUnited.com, Leeds say that they pushed back against a potential earlier time of 12 noon kickoff that was being pushed by the local police. Leeds have blamed Lancashire Police, as I say, for this, and Blackburn on their official site said that Lancashire Police requested the moving of the game to minimise alcohol-related antisocial behaviour incidents at the game. On Leeds United's side of things, they put out a pretty strong statement on the club's official site on LeedsUnited.com, and it reads as follows. The club are frustrated this decision was not taken at an earlier date, which may now inconvenience the travel plans of supporters. The club also pushed back on an even earlier kick-off time while ensuring the full away allocation at Ewood Park would be made available to Leeds. Leeds are expected to take 7,000 to 7,500 fans to Ewood Park on November 30th, and what is usually Leeds' biggest away allocation of this season. Leeds didn't want to impact that, but the game has been pushed forward to a 1:30 kickoff. Leeds trying to avoid a 12 noon kickoff in this situation. So, on the basis of the Lancashire Police recommendation, so is what it is, I suppose. Not an awful lot you can do about it. We've talked this week about a few of the loanees that have been out, but Sam Greenwood's the latest one, and one that's probably closest to having any kind of a future at Leeds United, albeit small at the moment. But Sam Greenwood has come in for some praise from his new manager Paul Heckingbottom, a former Leeds United manager Paul Heckingbottom, but there's still work to do for Greenwood as well. His loan at Preston has started pretty well, similar to how it started at Middlesbrough last year, where he started on fire on loan, scoring goals and getting assists before it eventually kind of just went off the boil a little bit, and Sam returned to Leeds. There was a £1.5 million option for Middlesbrough to buy the player from Leeds, which at one point during his loan looked like an absolute steal. Didn't work out in the end, and they didn't take up the option. Back to Leeds he came. Off to Preston, he went on loan again this season, and so far Sam Greenwood has played 8 times for Preston North End and has scored 2 goals in the cup for them. New Preston boss and former Leeds United manager Paul Heckingbottom has praised Sam Greenwood's work ethic and ability, while still pointing out that Sam has some areas to improve upon. On Greenwood's time at Preston so far under the new management, Paul Heckingbottom had the following to say. We've been really pleased with Sam in terms of how he has responded to us coming through the door. Usually when you're watching training games back, he's involved a lot. He's involved in a lot of things for us, whether it's a chance, an effort at goal, energy to win the ball back. Probably if you totted up everything, Sam will be somewhere in the top 3 of each of these. He is that type of player, so we want to get more out of him. We want him to understand what he brings, and as it is right now, he loves working on every part of his game at the training ground. It's just working on the end product, the consistency, and being even better when he does have the ball. You want this to work out for Sam. Ultimately, he is a pretty skillful number 10. He's got a very good shot on him. We know that he's a very good set piece taker. We know that. It's just that consistency piece and making sure he can be an impact in as many games as possible to push up the level. I still see a player in Sam Greenwood, but that consistency and doing it on a regular basis and keeping the confidence level high, being able to produce good performances, goals and assists on a regular basis will be ultimately what will decide on what Sam Greenwood's future in football looks like, whether he can progress to the top, which just on set piecing alone, he probably could. But if he can get the rest of the stuff sorted down, you would imagine he has a decent career ahead of him in football, and maybe one even at Leeds United. We have to wait and see. Folks, that'll be it for me today. We will be back at 7 p.m. tonight for the match day preview with Andrew Stats Dalton. You can check that out if you want to. Podcast is there from last night down below. And I will be back tomorrow for a review after the Leeds game, to go through the initial stuff, and then we'll have the regular stuff during the week. Folks, have a great rest of your day. Enjoy your Friday, and I'll talk to you later on today. See ya.